Hello everyone. Today I am with Vinamra Jain. He is an investment banker. Welcome Vinamra. How are you?
Hi Prashant, I'm really well. How are you?
I am good as well. So let's start our discussion without any further ado. What is
Yeah.
investment banking and how it is different from merchant banking, management consulting, PE, VC? How is it different from these domains? Okay, so these are actually the skills which you are saying ki interpersonal skills are very important when coming to investment banking because you have to do a lot of networking.
Yeah.
And based on
Yeah.
the networking, people trust you. Based on your
Yeah.
profile, based on your personal branding, people are trying to trust you.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's very
Absolutely.
important, right? So let's actually move on to the course part.
Okay.
What are the courses which you are going to recommend for a person who is going to enter investment banking? Because see, networking is a part. It's a very
Yeah.
important part for those you will prefer some courses. What about
Mm-hmm.
other things? Not only investment banking, there will be some skills requirement related to financial analytics or maybe financial modeling. What do
Right.
you think, and what are the courses that you might have done or you might have gone through, or
Right.
what courses or certifications would you recommend?
Sure. तो एकदम से कम नहीं दिखा सकते. You have to be very careful. Every document of yours should align with each other. And then finding the right set of investors is very necessary, as I discussed in the beginning. इन्वेस्टर के पास वो कैपेबिलिटी होनी चाहिए कि यार ये वो बिजनेस को रन कर सके बिकॉज अल्टीमेटली वंस यू हैव मोर देन 50% इन एनी कंपनी आपका वोट सबसे ज्यादा मैटर करेगा वो गलत डिसीजन ना ले कंपनी के लिए so that you have to be sure so you have to find a right set of investors and then the most important thing comes which is negotiations
Top levels available in investment banking, मतलब आप कैसे start करते हो? How do you
yeah
enter?
yeah
And packages कैसे arrange करते हैं? In boutique firms, in corporates,
yeah
and अगर कोई freelancing कर रहा है, I don't think it's possible because you will require a lot of connections
no
for that.
yeah
And so yeah, what's the status? Investment banking is a cutthroat environment with no teamwork. So what do you think about
absolutely man absolutely man you cannot work without a team
that? There are always people, maybe at the senior level, at the junior level, who are always cutting corners. So what do you think about that?
uh, keep yourself updated with what's going in the world. For that reason, read news. That's a short form content.
Okay.
Have a habit of, it's a very basic thing what I'm saying, but it's very important. Uh, I personally read Economic Times daily. That's a good bunch of every news like macroeconomy, geopolitics, कौन सी डील्स हो रही है मार्केट में, लिस्टेड मार्केट में क्या हो रहा है, प्राइवेट स्पेस में क्या हो रहा है, स्टार्टअप्स में क्या हो रहा है, पॉलिटिक्स में क्या हो रहा है, स्पोर्ट्स में क्या हो रहा है. So that's a good bunch of every news which is covered, which is going on in the world. So read news. That's very important.
Investment banking is for extroverts who excel in mathematics.
Yeah.
Okay, so there are some market-based rumors as well. I don't know whether they are rumors or they're actually true. One of them is
Shoot up.
that the boutique firms in India are gaining more traction, more market share when it comes to winning deals as compared to the MNCs. So what do you think about that?
Somewhat true. Somewhat true. True that investment banking is hell lot hectic job to do. It demands a lot of time, but it's fun. So yeah, welcome to the world of workaholic, but alcohol is always fun. So fun work.
Good one. And actually, it becomes a fun part when it's your passion, when you have an interest. If you're doing it without
Absolutely.
interest and
No,
you do anything, it
money
won't be
shouldn't
fun.
be your goal if you are in investment banking. You will earn a lot, but you will give up because काम बहुत करना पड़ता है. मजा नहीं आएगा काम करने में तो आपको लगेगा वो आप सन्यासी वाली बातें करोगे, पैसा हाथ का मेल और सब. मजा आएगा काम करने में तो वो पैसा अच्छा भी लगेगा. Yeah.
Okay. Thanks a lot, Vinamra, for joining
Yeah.
today. This
Thanks,
was a very
Prashant. Thank you so
informative
much.
section for me as well.
Absolutely.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you. Thanks, Prashant. Your questions were really good. Enjoyed answering them. Let's hope to connect sometime soon as well.
Yes, sure thing.
Great.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye, man. Bye.
Hello, everyone. Today I am with Vinamra Jain. He is an investment banker. Welcome, Vinamra. How are you?
Hi, Prashant. I'm really well. How are you?
I am good as well. So let's start our discussion without any further ado.
Sure.
Vinamra, please, before your introduction, let us talk about one of the important questions, which is actually confusing for many people. What is
Yeah.
investment banking And how it is different from merchant banking, management consulting, PE, VC? How is it different from these domains?
Sure. I think that's a good start for this podcast. I guess let's clear out that question and set up a platform to build
Yes.
our further discussion. See, I'll explain in a very layman terms. I won't give any technical jargons and all. But what I can tell you is what investment banking is. It's a bridge between companies who wants to raise funds and investors who wants to invest funds. In a
Okay.
plain layman terms, investment banker is that bridge who connects these two people.
Hmm.
And there is a lot of process which goes between connecting these two people. First, not all investors invest in all companies. So you have to find a right set of investors because every investor has a different thesis. They invest in particular rounds like Series A, Series B. They invest in particular range, like they invest in $5 million or $100 million or $1 million. So and they invest in different industries, what they like, what their thesis is. So you have to read
Okay.
the investor very well, that whether they will invest in your company or not. And then from the company side, you have to find the right set of investors because investor is a person who will stay with the company for a very long time.
Hmm.
In their growth journey, their building journey, investor will be there. Investor will be there from start to end in every core decision. So you have to find a right investor for the company so that the the ratio between these two people doesn't get flaw,
Disturbed.
doesn't get faulty. Yeah. So you
Hmm.
have to find a right investor. Plus, a lot of process goes in between. Like you
Okay.
have to read the industry really well because you sit in meetings with investors, you sit with clients, you sit with board members, and you have to know answer of every question which is coming to you from investor, from board, from company. So you have to read the industry, the space, the company really well. What they do, what competitors are doing, what's the macroeconomic trends going on, what's the whole thesis behind this company and this industry. So that's what, and then you have to build various collaterals, like you have to build information memorandum, you have to build financial model, teasers, you have to find a good list of investors who you can reach out to. And then finally, you should have a great connect with investors. Investors is investing based on obviously their research, but the first call, the first meeting which happens between the company and the investor, that lot depends on what's your relation with the investor.
Hmm.
They are coming in the call, they are coming in the meeting based on your words, based on your wisdom. So you have to build a great connection with investors so that they can invest their time based on your words. So that's what investment banking is basically in layman terms. They connect the investor and the company, and then a lot of process goes in between of them. And how this is different from other domains, I think very different, very different. It might be still somewhat similar to PE and VC because what I told you about everything about investor, that is PE and VC. So people like employees who are sitting in PE and VC funds, they are doing all the evaluation of the industry of the company, whether they should invest their money or not, what will happen after 5 7 years, whether we will be making successful exits in the company or not. So that what is still similar. I won't say similar like very different to be honest, but still it revolves around the investing
Hmm.
uh,
Yes.
boundaries. But others like we like management consulting, that's pure a different domain actually because that's something as the name suggests. You are a consultant to the management.
Hmm.
You have to uh, kind of hold their hands whenever they need you. They need consulting in various domains. That's a different story altogether. We can dive deep into that, but I think today let's discuss more about investment banking.
Yes.
Yeah.
And the difference between merchant banking can be considered as the level of
Merch.
investors, right? Because
Uh,
merchant bankers are connecting the institutional investors or the retail investors, right?
Not exactly. So again, investment bankers are also connects to institutional investors. Merchant bankers has to do more with public markets,
Hmm.
listed
Yes.
markets,
Hmm.
because merchant bankers have license of SEBI. And SEBI license what makes you merchant banker. The process is same. Merchant banker also finds an investor and everything, but everything revolves in the listed market space. Investment bankers focus is more towards private market space. So that's the difference.
And IB is not SEBI regulated, right? SEBI
No, no,
regulated.
it's not SEBI.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah,
So after this insightful introduction about IB, tell us about
yeah.
yourself.
Sure. See, I'm a chartered accountant. I cleared my CA back in 2020, the
Okay.
famous COVID year, and then I started my career in Grant Thornton as a statutory auditor. Over there, like I did couple of companies audits, listed companies, unlisted companies, Indian companies, UK, US companies. That's where I gained a lot of experience of various gaps, various standards of auditing. Like the way audit happens in India is different the way audit happens for abroad, like foreign clients. So
Okay.
that's where I started my career. 9 months into statutory audit, then I switched to Lastaki Advisors.
Okay.
That's my company where I do my investment banking right now. Yeah, and since then, like 2.5 years, I'm into Lastaki Advisors. Didn't start as a pure investment banking. I started with as in a finance department where I was responsible for management consulting. That's also one of the arm of Lastaki Advisors, where we
Okay.
help our clients who are startup founders, very early age founders, to grow their businesses strategically. So that was one thing. Then we had we I was also responsible for operations of our private equity fund, our own sister concern fund, so was
Okay.
responsible for the operations and compliances and investor relations of that fund. And then I moved to pure play investment banking. Uh, yeah, that from the work side, that was the work side. Apart from work, I think my second love is sports and dancing. That's what I do in my free time apart from work. Yeah,
Okay. That's a great way to, stress out things.
yeah,
Yes. Great. So, you are a CA, right?
yeah,
You are not an MBA. You are
yeah,
not doing any kind of graduation from a top B school.
yeah.
So, how was your
Honestly, I
journey?
haven't seen my college how it looks like when I did my
For
graduation.
CA students, I think that's one of the
Yeah,
common complaints we can say कि CA college कभी देखा ही नहीं.
yeah,
So, how did you got into IB? मतलब even after not doing MBA, because there is always a taboo we can say
yeah,
कि MBA होगा तो ही आपको selection होगा. Even
right,
when right now when I want to apply for industrial training, the main taboo which I get from the colleagues or from the people I talk to is you
yeah,
haven't done CFA, you haven't done
hmm,
MBA, so there are very least chances of your selection.
right,
So
right.
how did you manage to got into that?
Sure. Okay. Before that, how I managed to get into Lastaki as a banker, first I want to tell why people need MBA.
Okay.
Why, uh, why investment bankers look for candidates who are MBA. See, from the knowledge per se, CA gives everything. There is no doubt that we don't have finance knowledge. We are not equipped with all the knowledge what our investment banker needs. That
Hmm.
we have. MBA finance does not teach you anything extra than CA finance. So that we have. But what extra skills MBA has? See, investment banker, as I told in the beginning, is more about relationship building. You have to
Okay.
make relationship with investors and with companies. You should be having art of selling the company, not selling the product. Here we are not selling the product, we are selling the whole company. An investor is investing crores of money, sometimes like
Yes.
1,000 crores as well, based on what you have sold to the investors. So you have to have the selling skills, you have to have relationship building skills. When you are with the investors in the meeting, you should be presentable. Your interpersonal skills should be very good. So these all are the skills which MBA, and I'm not talking about online MBA. I don't consider it as a degree, to be honest. Sorry for that.
Okay.
But what real MBA teaches you is in the college environment, where several committees are formed, where several activities and assignments are given, and you have to, that sell me this pen. Such kind of activities, such kind of group project, that enhances your interpersonal skills, that enhances your
Okay.
selling skills. And that's what is needed in investment banking. So that's why people ask for such kind of roles. Knowledge per se, there is no doubt that CL lack anywhere, but that's why people ask for MBA. How I managed to go in investment banking is first, uh, I started not as a pure banker. I started in finance department where CAs were needed because I was a management consultant to few of the companies. I was financial consultant to few of the companies. Uh, Again, private equity fund operations. So the role which I got in first was a finance role, which was very aligned to what CA generally gets. And then when I was done, like I was for 2 years, I was into that role, learned various aspects of business and all. Then I switched to, I just checked with my chairman, and he said that sure, I think we think you can be a good banker. So I moved into investment banking. So my personal journey is not an ideal journey how I got into investment banking, but someone who is looking to go into investment banking with a CA background is something what I would say knowledge you have, work on your interpersonal skills, work on your selling skills. CA, since we do not have any college and all, that's why
Hmm.
it's not possible for us. Participate in other things. Participate in ICI events. Participate in other networking clubs. And that's where you will learn all the other skills which is needed to be a banker. And apart from that,
Okay.
few other knowledge as well, we can discuss later that. But to start with other courses, other knowledge which you can gain to be a banker, we can discuss that later.
Okay, so these are actually the skills which you are saying ki interpersonal skills are very important when coming to investment banking because you have to do a lot of networking.
Yeah,
And based on
yeah,
the networking, people trust you. Based on your
yeah,
profile, based on your personal branding, people are trying to trust you.
yeah, yeah,
So that's very
absolutely.
important, right? So let's actually move on to the course part. Uh,
Okay.
what are the courses which you are going to recommend for a person who is going to enter investment banking? Because see, networking is a part. It's a very
Yeah.
important part for those you will prefer some courses. What about
Mm-hmm.
other things? Not only investment banking, there will be some skills requirement related to financial analytics or maybe financial modeling. What do
Right,
you think, and what are the courses that might you might have done or you might have gone through, or you might
right.
what courses or certifications would you recommend?
Sure, sure. See, I won't be able to name the exact name of the code that go in this link and do, but I can give you a background, what all courses you should do, and find the courses around that.
Okay.
First, of course, financial modeling, but find a comprehensive source or find comprehensive course for financial modeling because there are courses where they just teach you Excel.
Hmm.
Okay, this is the Excel, you have to plot projections, this is how you will get the projection, and it's done. That's not how financial modeling is done. So find a comprehensive course of financial modeling because along with financial model is an Excel where you build the projections of the company for next 5 7 years, but a very detailed projections. You just cannot say that today company's revenue is 100 crores, next year 200 हो जाएगा, उसके next year 400 हो जाएगा. That's not how the model is. It's a
Hmm.
projection, but how you are getting to that 200 crores. How 200 crores from it's if it's an online business, it's a SaaS model. How many companies you have to onboard? What's your price? What's your price per month? How much subscriptions you will sell? What's your module? How many modules you will sell? So it's a very detailed projections. So first for understanding how to build financial model, you have to understand the business. So find a
Okay.
comprehensive course around financial model. Read more and more about business models or business case studies. There are various large companies who have their case studies, long case studies, like what was their business first, how they have evolved, at what point they have raised funds, and what was their scale when they raised funds, and how many customers they were doing, how many modules they were selling, and who got the right investor, what was their valuation. There is a long case studies on businesses. Try reading business case studies. Whatever industry you like, pick companies from that industry. Read case studies on the businesses, how businesses are built, how businesses have raised funds, how businesses got acquired. There are several case studies to it.
Okay.
Third, I would say read the curriculum of CFA. It's really good. You won't get any certificate out of it. If you want to pursue that degree, go ahead, do it. But for me, I personally believe in degrees are not that important. Degrees are an entry point in the world, in the corporate world or in the career world. But beyond that, what works is your knowledge, your wisdom. तो डिग्री
Yes.
नहीं मिलेगी, सर्टिफिकेट नहीं मिलेगी, चलेगा, बट नॉलेज मिलनी चाहिए. तो सीएफए का करिकुलम पढ़ो, लेवल 2 का करिकुलम पढ़ो. द वे दे हैव डिफाइंड हाउ फंड्स आर रेज्ड, डेट में कैसे रेज होता है, इक्विटी में कैसे होता है, पब्लिक मार्केट, प्राइवेट मार्केट, वैल्यूएशंस कैसे होते हैं. I personally have not done CFA to be honest because I'm not very fussy about degrees. मेरे पास CA degree आ गई थी. I think that was enough. Beyond that, I cannot study. So, but reading the curriculum, it really gives you information. It really gives you knowledge. So that's what that will help you. Uh, yeah, you can pick. Like CFA is a very long course. The curriculum is large. You can pick what you like. But for investment banking, I can say read more about equity, read more about uh, private entities, not public markets. Read about valuations, read about business model canvas. All this thing will help you in
Okay.
getting into that. Yeah.
Hmm. Okay. So coming from a CA background, you have done IB, right? You are doing IB, you will be in IB. But there will be some challenges that you might have faced. So
Yeah.
let's discuss a bit about that. Ki a person who is coming from a non-MBA background or a non-CFA
Sure.
background,
Sure.
you have mentioned ki CFA curriculum padho, then you might have knowledge. But
Yeah.
we are talking about entrants who have just done
Mm-hmm.
maybe CA only
Yeah. Yeah.
and a graduation degree. So what kind of challenges they might face or you have faced in your life regarding IB?
Okay. I think top of the mind, there are two challenges which I can think about right now.
Okay.
Uh, First is, as said, like being a CA, we are not exposed to colleges, we are not exposed to
Hmm.
all the projects and everything. So talking to random people, that was the first thing which I faced a challenge. Like I can talk to my colleagues, I can talk to my friends, but in the very first meeting, you have to talk to random people. You have to make connections with them. You have to, make an impression that I'm a worthy person of your time, making that impression in his mind. So talking to random people and talking good, that's what the first thing. How I overcome this is going to events. There are a lot of business events, corporate events. Uh, you will find like if someone is in Mumbai or someone is in, I think in every city there are business exhibitions. Go there. There are business stalls. Talk to the founders, talk to sellers, understand what they are doing, tell them what you are doing. That's how you will build a habit. I know for me also, when I went to my first business event, I was just standing over there. I don't know how to go, how to talk to these people. They don't know me. I don't know them, whether they will give me proper time or not. And you will face objections. Of course, there will be people who are not willing to talk to you. They are quite busy or whatever the scene is.
Yes.
But you have to try. There will be people who are willing to talk to you. They will give you time. So just have that courage and just go out. And business exhibitions are the best place if you want to ice break this challenge of yours. वहाँ पर business stalls होती है. Just go to business stall because they are willing to talk to you.
Hmm.
That's the first step because उनको अपना product बेचना है, उनको अपनी services बेचनी है, तो वो तो आपसे बात करेंगे. तो फिर
Yes.
आप भी बात करो, questions पूछो, understand their business, what they are doing, and that's how you will. And not just business stalls. Then explore the flow. Who is, कौन अकेला दिख रहा है और अगर अकेला जाने में दिक्कत हो रही है तो कौन ग्रुप में बातें कर रहा है जस्ट गो इनटू दैट ग्रुप इन दीज इवेंट्स पीपल आर ऑलवेज देयर टू नेटवर्क so this is the first challenge. Second challenge is, yeah, I'm not a pro reader. I don't read books to be honest. I'm not a
Okay.
reader. तो सीए बनने के बाद मेरा रीडिंग से बहुत दूर दूर का नाता हो गया था. But you cannot be successful in investment banking if you don't. You have to read a lot. You have to read industries, industry reports. You have to read competitors, what competitors are doing. You have to read again case studies, acquisition stories. You have to read macroeconomic trends. For example, सेमीकंडक्टर चिप का शॉर्टेज हुआ यार क्यों शॉर्टेज हुआ क्या शॉर्टेज हुआ कैसे ओवरकम करेंगे कौन सी कंपनी इसको ओवरकम करती है कौन सी कंट्रीज से हो रहा है यू हैव टू रीड एवरीथिंग news I used to read, but news is a short form content. For long form, you have to read case studies, you have to read
Yes.
newsletters and everything. So reading was one, but you have to read a lot. You have to analyze things a lot. Since you asked me the skills about investment banking in earlier question, I think few of the skills apart from interpersonal skills, what I missed was analysis. That's very important in investment banking. Analysis at every point of your job. Analysis
Okay.
of trends, what's going on in the market. Analysis of numbers. You just cannot look numbers the way it is. You have to go beyond that. You
Hmm.
have to go beyond what the story is. ये नंबर आया तो आया कैसे ये नंबर अगर ये ग्रॉस मार्जिन है ये बिटा है ये कंपनी आज नेगेटिव है क्या ये फ्यूचर में कभी प्रॉफिटेबल बन भी पाएगी कि नहीं अगर बनेगी तो कैसे बनेगी you have to look beyond the numbers you have to look like 5-6 years growth trajectory of the company and yeah so numbers then you have to analyze the industry this industry is relevant today but whether this industry will be relevant 5-7 years down the line when the investor will be asking for their money back तब ये इंडस्ट्री रेलेवेंट रहेगी कि नहीं रहेगी so you have to analyze that industry for example many companies started in covid and shut in covid they were relevant in covid and people are working from home when they were in home but the world has opened now it's no more relevant so
Yes.
you have to understand a lot of trends analysis macro that's why number analysis plays a big role and for that you have to read a lot इंडस्ट्री पढ़ो जियोपॉलिटिक्स पढ़ो इकोनॉमीज पढ़ो ये सब पढ़ोगे तो एनालिसिस स्ट्रेंथ बढ़ेगी एनुअल रिपोर्ट्स पढ़ो लिस्टेड कंपनीज के एनुअल रिपोर्ट्स पढ़ो वहां पर बहुत अच्छा एनालिसिस लिखा होता है so
Okay.
analysis is an important skill and for me reading was a challenge but then there is no other way to overcome it you have to read and more you have to read more and more जैसे जैसे read करोगे अपने आप को अच्छा लगने लगेगा so that's what it is yeah.
Okay. So, can I say कि merger and acquisitions is one of the branches of investment banking?
Yeah, absolutely. See, mergers and acquisition is also one of the way companies raise fund. It's not raising fund; it's actually selling. But investor is investing, company is raising funds. It's the backstory is same.
Okay, so let's talk about it a bit. There were many deals that are done on a regular basis, right? For example, Zensar Tech is acquiring Bridgeview Life Science, or maybe ABFRL acquiring Goodview Fashion Private Limited. So
Hmm.
when all these things are taking place, what are the critical factors which you consider while working on these deals for a smooth flow from start to end? What are the factors?
Okay, I think that answer will be pretty long because you have asked for the process start to end. Okay, starting with uh, understanding the objective of the founder. If he wants to sell his company, what he is looking for. There are two, three ways. Is he looking for that? Is he looking only for money that someone will buy my stake and everything will remain the same?
Hmm.
That I'm working in my company, investor has acquired this company, but this company is different. And I am the CEO of this company. I will remain the CEO of this company. I just need money right now. I just need a financial security right now, and that's why I'm selling the company. Either this. Second, he wants to completely exit. He wants to start something of his own again. He wants to retire.
Okay.
He has different reasons and he wants to completely move out from the company. So, and that's why the objective should be very clear, because then we have to find a right investor, because there are different investors with different reasons. There are investors who wants just to acquire the company because they want profit out of that company and build some synergies, but
Yes.
they still want founder to be intact. There are investors who wants to operate the company in their own way if they've acquired. So they want investor to like go out from his company, from the founder to go out from his company.
Mhm.
So you have to first identify the objective of the founder, what he's looking for. Then the investor list will be curated accordingly. Second, again, as I said, there will be meetings between investors and companies with a board. You have to convince investor at various levels. पहले उसका associate आएगा, फिर उसका AVP आएगा, फिर director आएगा, फिर company के boards आएंगे. You have to convince at every point. Every person will have different set of questions. You have to be thorough with the industry. You have to be thorough with the company. You have to be thorough with the competitors. कॉम्पिटिटर्स क्या कर रहे हैं, आपकी कंपनी क्या कर रही है, आप क्या अलग कर रहे हो, क्यों आपकी कंपनी को एक्वायर करना चाहिए और आपके कॉम्पिटिटर्स को नहीं, क्या ये इंडस्ट्री रेलेवेंट रहेगी आज से 7-8 साल के बाद भी. You have to be thorough with the answers. For that, again, you have to read the industry a lot. You have to analyze the companies. You have to analyze the industries a lot. So, sorry. Uh, so yeah. So first, you should be having enough knowledge that if people ask any question to you, you should be aware of that question. You have to be well versed with the objective of the founder, what he's looking for. Third, see, there are different ways a company can position itself in the company. A company is providing the same services, but the positioning can be very different.
Okay.
Uh, how can I give you an example? Okay, let's start with a very basic example, what people can understand. You have seen the whole evolution of veganism. People have
Yes.
started consuming more vegan products and everything, and plant-based meat and meat substitutes and everything. So I'll tell you how. Now this thing, it's an interesting thing. If a company is selling its product saying I am a plant-based meat, and consumers who are consuming the products, they are consuming because they want a meat alternative. So whenever a consumer will eat their product, the first thing in his head will be इसका टेस्ट, इसका टेक्सचर, इसका फ्लेवर मीट जैसा होना चाहिए. और फिर वो कंज्यूमर वो प्रोडक्ट खाएगा और उसको मीट जैसा नहीं लगेगा, ही विल डिस्कार्ड. मे बी वो प्रोडक्ट अच्छा था, बट वो मीट जैसा नहीं था, तो ही डिस्कार्डेड द प्रोडक्ट. उसके दिमाग में पोजीशनिंग ये थी कि इसका टेस्ट, टेक्सचर, फ्लेवर, माउथ फील, ये सब मीट जैसा होना चाहिए, बिकॉज यू आर सेलिंग बाय द नेम मीट सब्सटीट्यूट, मीट ऑल्टरनेटिव, प्लांट बेस्ड मीट. तो प्रोडक्ट अच्छा था लेकिन फिर भी वो ऑफ द शेल्फ हो गया बिकॉज वो मीट जैसा नहीं था.
Hmm.
वर्सेस अ कंपनी सेलिंग द सेम प्रोडक्ट, saying it's a new option, it's a new dish in the market, just consume it, it's a new protein source in the market. तो
पूरा
फिर
ही
वो
व्यू चेंज हो
कंपैरिजन
गया,
नहीं है.
हाँ.
हाँ, फिर वो
यस.
कंपैरिजन नहीं है. वो कोई एक माइंड मैप लेके नहीं चल रहा है कि मुझे मीट जैसा होना चाहिए. इट्स अ न्यू प्रोडक्ट, आई एम लाइकिंग इट, आई एम हैविंग इट. So positioning, the product is same, but how you are positioning in the market is very different. Same goes with positioning in front of the investor.
ओके.
Investor एक प्लांट बेस्ड मीट में नहीं इन्वेस्ट करना चाहता, बट वो एक न्यू फूड ऑप्शन में इन्वेस्ट करना चाहता है. आपने अगर प्लांट बेस्ड मीट बोल दिया, नहीं इन्वेस्ट करेगा. न्यू फूड ऑप्शन बोलोगे तो करेगा. सो रियली that plays a very big role, how you are positioning the company in front of the investor and in the market.
ओके.
Where it plays a role, because आप documents बनाते हो, आप collaterals बनाते हो, आप information, basically investor deck बनाते हो. It's a PPT like 40, 50, 60
Hmm.
slides which you present in front of the investor. You have to be very careful how you are positioning your company in that investor deck. So
Okay.
for that, several meeting goes with the investor, how you want to present your company. Then we also suggest, okay, this is not the right way to present your company. This is the right way. First, we build the problem statement. What's the problem in the industry? What this company is solving? What competitors are doing? What he is doing? How he is better than the competitors? You have to build the story, entire story. Start from the macroeconomy. What's the problem? What this is solving? What competitors are not able to sell? What is their products and their services? So this is how a story gets built. So you have to be very
Okay.
careful while building collaterals. You have to be very careful while building the financial model, because financial model और आपका investor deck align होना चाहिए. आप बोल रहे हो investor deck में कि 2 साल बाद मैं ये product launch करूंगा. आपके projections में 2 साल बाद फिर revenue का jump दिखना चाहिए. आपके
Hmm.
2 साल बाद प्रोडक्ट लॉन्च के खर्चे दिखने चाहिए, मार्केटिंग के खर्चे दिखने चाहिए. आप बोल रहे हो कि जनरली एक आदमी का क्या होता है कि अगर आज मैं 15% मार्केटिंग स्पेंड करता हूँ मेरे रेवेन्यू का, ओवर द 5 years में इसको कम करूंगा, 11, 12, 13 ऐसे करते हुए
Yes.
कम करूंगा. बट 3 साल बाद आप एक प्रोडक्ट लॉन्च करने वाले हो, तो अब आपका मार्केटिंग स्पेंड शूट अप
Hmm.
करेगा, आप उसको एकदम से कम नहीं दिखा सकते, तो यू हैव टू बी वेरी केयरफुल, एवरी डॉक्यूमेंट ऑफ योर्स शुड अलाइन विद ईच अदर, एंड then finding the right set of investors is very necessary, as I discussed in the beginning. इन्वेस्टर के पास वो कैपेबिलिटी होनी चाहिए कि यार ये वो बिजनेस को रन कर सके, बिकॉज अल्टीमेटली वंस यू हैव मोर देन 50% इन एनी कंपनी, आपका
Control,
वोट सबसे
right?
ज्यादा मैटर करेगा,
Yes.
वो गलत डिसीजन ना ले कंपनी के लिए, so that you have to be sure, so you have to find a right set of investors. And then the most important thing comes, which is negotiations. Many deal fails because of negotiations of valuation. कंपनी पसंद आ रही है, फाउंडर पसंद आ रहा है, प्रोडक्ट्स पसंद आ रहे हैं, इंडस्ट्री पसंद आ रही है, वैल्यूएशन एक्सपेक्टेशन बहुत अलग अलग है, यू हैव टू ब्रिंग देम, एंड दिस इज द जॉब ऑफ इन्वेस्टमेंट बैंकर, यू हैव टू मेक देम कम टू वन पेज, इसकी वैल्यूएशन एक्सपेक्टेशन, इसकी वैल्यूएशन सब मैच होनी चाहिए, देयर आर सेवरल राइट्स व्हिच गेट्स नेगोशिएटेड, इन्वेस्टर बोलता है कि ये सारे मैटर्स होंगे जिसमें मेरे वोट के बिना यू कैन नॉट
Decision
टेक
नहीं
द
होगा,
डिसीजन,
हाँ.
हाँ, देयर आर सेवरल अदर राइट्स, there are few jargons, but you can google them, tag along, drag along, you need a board seat, or you need a liquidation preference कि आज से 5 साल बाद मुझे सबसे पहले एग्जिट मिलना चाहिए, अगर कोई इन्वेस्टर आए तो मेरे शेयर सबसे पहले खरीदेगा कोई, या फिर मेरे को
Okay.
मिनिमम इतना रिटर्न तो मिलना ही चाहिए, अगर कोई और नहीं खरीद रहा है तो प्रमोटर शुड बाय माय स्टेक एट 3x or 4x of value. So there are several such rights which you have to negotiate with the investors. और वहां पर डील फॉलो ऑफ होती है, बिकॉज देर आर सर्टन थिंग्स विच इज नॉन नेगोशिएबल फॉर इन्वेस्टर, देर आर सर्टन थिंग्स विच इज नॉन नेगोशिएबल फॉर फाउंडर्स एज वेल, एंड दे डोंट डू द डील बिकॉज ऑफ दैट. That's the role of investment banker. That's where I said investment bankers should have people skill. You have
Hmm.
to read the room. Where the founder and banker is sitting, founder and investor is sitting in the same room, you have to read the room. What's going on in the mind of these people? कहाँ पर झगड़े हो सकते हैं, कहाँ पर दो लॉयर लड़ सकते हैं. देयर इज ऑलवेज लीगल बैटल्स, दोनों साइड के लॉयर्स होते हैं, वो लड़ते हैं, हर डील में लड़ते हैं, एंड दैट्स अ वेरी फन पार्ट टू बी ऑनेस्ट. When two lawyers fight in any negotiation, that's the most fun part of any deal. But that's a learning part as well. How a lawyer is convincing the other lawyer to get my terms. So yeah, so you have to identify what a person needs. You have to convince the other side. एंड इन्वेस्टर को नहीं लगना चाहिए कि बैंकर पूरा कंपनी का है, कंपनी को नहीं लगना चाहिए कि बैंकर पूरा
Yes.
इन्वेस्टर का है. यू हैव टू समवेयर प्ले इन द मिडल, एंड देन यू हैव टू काइंड ऑफ agree everyone to come on the same page. So negotiations are again very important, and again for that interpersonal skills are needed, convincing skills are needed, reading the room skills is needed, people skills is needed. So yeah, so that's what you need to take care of, and there are a lot of admin things. Share certificate sign होना चाहिए कंपनी का, कंपनी के यार बहुत सारे लीगल प्रोसेस है, ड्यू डिलिजेंस पास होना चाहिए. आई हैव पर्सनली वर्कड एट डील्स जहाँ पर वो ड्यू डिलिजेंस में फेल हो गया था, उसने बहुत सारे कंप्लायंसेस ही नहीं किए थे. सो
Okay.
अगेन बहुत सारी चीजें करनी पड़ती है सो दैट वो पास हो जाए ड्यू डिलिजेंस में, बट अगर बहुत ज्यादा नॉन कंप्लायंट है तो यू कैन नॉट डू एनीथिंग. यू मैक्स यू कैन डू इज यू कैन कन्विंस द इन्वेस्टर कि यार ये सब कंप्लायंस वो कर लेगा, पेनल्टी वो खुद के उससे दे देगा, आप मत देना. बहुत सारे तरीके होते हैं वो सब करने के लिए, बट something is non-negotiable. The deal is off the table then. So yeah, these all are the process of the whole M&A, and in fact fundraise also. The process is quite similar. What happens in fundraise, what happens in M&A. It's just that M&A में लोग 50% से ज़्यादा stake acquire कर रहे हैं, तो फिर वहाँ पर थोड़ा ज़्यादा केयरफुल होना पड़ता है,
Hmm.
वहाँ पर काफी इंटेंस हो जाती है चीजें. That's the only thing difference.
Yes.
Yeah,
And दोनों साइड से ही चीजें सीरियस होती है because
yeah,
as a founder I am giving 51% of my company.
yeah.
As an investor I am putting 51% amount
Right.
of huge pile of my money.
Absolutely.
Hmm.
Absolutely. Both will ask for their rights.
Yes.
Is that it's your skill as a banker skill that you have to make them agree on a single page.
Okay.
Yeah.
One term that you used in the answer is collateral. Can you
Okay.
define that? What is collateral?
Yeah. Collaterals are basically all the documents which you need to find an investor. I
Okay.
used the term collateral, but I also use what all comes under that. Collateral के अंदर investor deck आता है, that 40, 50, 60 slides जो मैंने पूरा बताया था
Hmm.
कि
Yes.
problem statement, फिर solutions, competitors क्या कर रहे हैं, आप क्या कर रहे हो, what's your projections for the
Hmm.
next 5, 6 years, why you need money. If you are raising, let's say, $5, $10 million, where you will put this money. So वो सब investor deck में आता है. Then financial model is one of the collateral. Building the projections for 5, 7 years, and it should align with the vision of the company.
Okay.
Building the projections, how you will improve the margins, how you will become profitable, how you will grow your revenue. That all comes into financial model. Then there are certain other documents like teaser and everything, but that's not. So basically, what happens is all the fundraise deals, M&A deals are very confidential in the market.
Hmm.
You cannot name in the industry which company is raising funds. So if you're just blindly reaching out to investors, you should not name your company. So एक teaser बनता है. Teaser
Okay.
में it's a no name basis teaser. do not name the company which is raising fund. Who is your client? You just name the industry क्या है, इसके products क्या हैं, price points क्या है, solutions क्या है. It's a 10 to 20 slides of teaser as a first go. कोई
Okay.
इन्वेस्टर स्टार्टिंग में 40-50 स्लाइड नहीं देखेगा. टीजर देखेगा, टीजर से इंटरेस्टिंग लग रहा है तो फिर वो आगे की प्रोसेस करेगा. सो दैट्स अ टीजर. एंड देन इन्वेस्टर लिस्ट, रेलेवेंट इन्वेस्टर लिस्ट. आप ये इंडस्ट्री, आप ये राउंड फंड रेज राउंड ले रहे हो, लेट्स से सीरीज ए सीरीज बी कर रहे हो, आप $10 million उठा रहे हो. ये सब इन्वेस्टर, ये थीसिस में कौन सा इन्वेस्टर फिट बैठता है, तो उसकी पूरी लिस्ट बनाना. एंड देन द वी फाइंड आवर कनेक्शंस इन ऑल दीज इन्वेस्टर्स एंड ऑल. सो दीज आर द कोलैटरल डॉक्यूमेंट्स.
Okay.
या
Let's move ahead. You have
या
mentioned in your LinkedIn profile that you have worked as an outsourced CFO.
या या
So, what is outsourced CFO? First thing. Second thing, what was your experience as an outsourced CFO, and what things you learned from that about, shaping your perspective about different businesses?
Sure, sure. As I said, I started my career in Lastaki Advisors, not into investment banker, but in the
Hmm.
finance department. And in the finance department, there were several roles. One of the roles was this outsourced CFO, which I also
Okay.
call as management consulting. Though these two terms are different, but our clients were such that we have to do both for them. Outsourced CFO is something which is a company is small. It's not a big corporate listed company where you will be having a CFO, finance controller, senior manager, and a whole finance team but they still want some finance person in there, but they are not getting a very experienced finance person. So we were CFOs to them. They did not
Okay.
have money to hire their own CFO, or it's not about money, it's about experienced CFO. We were the CFOs to them. We helped them because I interacted with, I'll tell you what happens is a company founder knows their product really well, knows how to sell their product really well. But there are several other aspects where they need help. We were holding hands for them in every aspect of their business. Uh, there were companies उनको ये नहीं पता था कि मैं प्रॉफिट भी बनाता हूँ कि नहीं बनाता हूँ. मेरे को दिख रहा है कि यार सेल हो रही है, बट मैं पॉजिटिव हूँ कि नहीं. P&L स्टेटमेंट में पॉजिटिव प्रॉफिट दिख रहा है, मेरा कैश तो खाली है, मेरा बैंक स्टेटमेंट तो नेगेटिव जा रहा है. दे हैव नो क्लू व्हाट्स गोइंग ऑन इन देयर बिजनेस. प्लस लीगल बैटल्स आ रही है, लीगल नोटिस आ रहे हैं. प्लस यार मेरे को एम्प्लॉय को रोकना है, रिटेन करना है. व्हाट आर द स्ट्रेटेजीज, हाउ आई कैन प्लान देयर बोनसेस
Mhm.
accordingly. मेरे को ESOPs देना है, हाउ टू स्ट्रक्चर द ESOPs of my employees, my very core management employees. uh, Management wants to take out the money for their, let's say, personal purpose or whatever. How a way out to do that? What will be the most tax efficient way of doing that? You can take the money from your business. Of course, it's your business, but our income tax consider two different person, and there will be taxes on it. So
Yes.
structuring the whole tax around it, how you can do that. Plus, these are the finance angles. These are outsourced CFO. Where the management consultant came into picture is we also consult them on strategic grounds. You know your product, you know your how to sell it, but what will be the right market to sell it? What will be the right
Mhm.
industry where you should sell your product, where you haven't explored? Researching for them, like what I can say, a company wants to open a new subsidiary. Which will be the right country where I can open my subsidiary? Which will be the right way I can route my products or money or compliances or tax efficient? Uh, let's say कंपनी is a digital marketing company और वो काफी B2B companies को sell करता है अपनी services digital marketing. We advise them saying यार B2C company को कर, क्योंकि वहां पर ना बहुत creatives होते हैं.
Mhm.
Any consumer based company or digital marketing on this, because the people like you and me see this on Instagram, post देखते हैं, Facebook पे देखते हैं, hoardings देखते हैं, वो काफी engaging होता है, काफी creative होता है. So we said कि start selling a product in the B2C space as well. फिर हमने थोड़ा research किया B2C के अंदर कौन सा alcohol company, apparel, fashion company and everything. So we become their go-to person if they need any help strategically, financially. They
Okay.
can come to us, they can ask us to do some research for them, or they can ask us to make some. So I personally, I did for one client, I did their whole finance team restructuring. उनके पास बंदे थे, 4 से 5 लोगों की finance team थी, फिर भी there were no results out of that finance team. Then I said the distribution of work between the finance team is not good.
Okay.
Duplication हो रहा है और कुछ काम तो miss out ही हो रहा है. So structuring their whole finance team, which person should be responsible for what, there should be maker and checker, and everything. So structuring their whole finance team. So basically everything in the business, strategically, financially, everything apart from, and also sometimes their product as well. What competitors are doing, what top up you should do in your product, which
Yes.
is selling in the market. Competitor ये बेच रहा है, success हो रहा है, या तुम्हारी expertise है, करो. Just because competitor बेच रहा है तो तुम मत करो. There are several things because you are not expert in that, so don't focus on that. Bringing founder to a common ground. this is how strategy should be designed. So that's what I did in outsourced CFO and management consulting. And that's where I really learned about how businesses are made, how businesses grow, how strategies are formed, which really helped me in investment banking because what I also said कि वो business को बेचना आना चाहिए investor को. तो पहले
Okay.
business कैसे चलता है मैंने वो सीखा, फिर उस business को बेचा कैसे जाता है वो मैं अभी सीख रहा हूँ.
Okay.
Yeah,
So let's come on to the money part.
yeah,
Uh,
of course.
what
I
are
think that's what
the
your audience was waiting for. यार ज्ञान तो
I
ठीक
myself was waiting
है.
for that. Money is always a very important part before discussing anything.
Yeah,
So let's move on to that. What are the job levels available in investment banking? मतलब आप कैसे start करते हो? How do you
yeah,
enter?
yeah,
And packages कैसे range करते हैं? In boutique firms, in corporates,
yeah.
and अगर कोई freelancing कर रहा है, I don't think it's possible because you will require a lot of connections for
No,
that.
yeah.
And so yeah, what's the status?
Sure, I can tell you what are the job levels. So you start as an analyst. That's
Okay.
the fresher degree in investment bank. Then there is associate. But before becoming associate, then there can be internal levels in the company as well. कोई लोग होते हैं जो analyst, senior analyst, then promote to associate, and then
Okay.
again associate, senior associate, then they promote to the next level. So the starting two designations which you start in investment banking is analyst. You start from there, and then you become associate. Then there are several other levels like AVP, Associate Vice President. Then you become Vice President. Then you become Director, Executive Directors, and then you reach at the top. Uh,
What's the top level?
Finally, the director, and then you manage like you become the CEO of your company.
Okay.
But हाँ मतलब वो हर कंपनी का अलग लेवल होता है. If it's a family run business, तो फिर family ही उसको own करेगी. You can reach to the director level, but not necessary. ऐसा generally नहीं होता है. Family run businesses are the traditional businesses. But you can reach to the chairman level, MD level in your company as well. There is no stoppage. Talking about money, if you start at an analyst level, there is a broad range. Why there is a broad range? Because there are MNCs in this space, JP Morgan, Goldman Sachs, there
Hmm.
is Morgan Stanley, there is Bank of
McKinsey.
America. These are हाँ Citibank. ये सब बहुत बड़े MNC हैं. बट जनरली इन सब में क्या होता है ना, ये यूएस यूके की डील्स करता है और इंडिया
Okay.
उनका एक बैक ऑफिस होता है.
Hmm.
डील्स यूएस की हो रही है, डील्स यूके की हो रही है, वहां के इन्वेस्टर वहां की कंपनी की हो रही है, और सारा काम कोलैटरल्स बनाना, रिसर्च करना, डेक्स बनाना, ये सब इंडिया में हो रहा है. बिकॉज उनके लिए, यूएस के लिए इंडिया थोड़ा सा सस्ता पड़ता है, और हमको अगर यूएस की डील मिलती है तो हमारे लिए डॉलर्स में हम कमाते हैं. सो उनका रेंज थोड़ा सा ज्यादा होता है. बट इंडियन डील्स की बात करें, इंडियन फर्म्स की बात करें, लाइक देर आर मेनी इंडियन बैंक्स, एम्बेट है, विंडस है, कोटक महिंद्रा बैंक है, लस्तकी एडवाइजर्स, डेक्स्टर, रेन मैटर. देर आर लॉट ऑफ इन्वेस्टमेंट बैंक्स जो इंडिया डील पे फोकस करते हैं. तो स्टार्ट विथ एनालिस्ट अगर होगा, समवेयर ही विल अर्न 9 to 12 lakhs. He will start with that job, 9 to 12 lakhs. अगेन यही अगर आप थोड़ा उसमें चले जाओगे, एमएनसी में चले जाओगे, तो ये नंबर थोड़ा बड़ा भी बन सकता है, 15
So
lakhs, और ये
this
सब भी बन
is the
सकता है.
level you're talking about a graduate who has done
फ्रेशर,
maybe CA or CFA maybe?
हाँ एंट्री
He's
लेवल,
a
एंट्री
fresher.
लेवल, हाँ
Yes. Okay.
फ्रेशर, एंट्री लेवल. जनरली इन्वेस्टमेंट बैंक्स में ना फ्रेशर्स बहुत ज्यादा लेते नहीं.
Hmm.
यू नीड एन एक्सपीरियंस, बिकॉज क्या होता है इन्वेस्टमेंट बैंक्स के अंदर, यू हैव टू डायरेक्टली टॉक टू द फाउंडर्स, टू द इन्वेस्टर्स. A very fresh kid who is coming out of the college is not considered well versed with that skill कि यार वो डायरेक्ट इन्वेस्टर से बात कर रहा है. तो जनरली 1 साल 2 साल के एक्सपीरियंस बंदों को दिया जाता है इन्वेस्टमेंट बैंक्स में, पीवीसीज में. But yeah, if you start your career analyst, that's what you earn, around 9 to 12 lakhs. You become associate, you somewhere earn around 15 to 20 lakhs. That's what your salary for associate level. And this I'm talking about fixed pay. This is your fixed salary. Investment banks, the biggest benefit is the bonus part. You earn 100% of your CTC also as bonus. You earn 200
Okay.
to 300% also as a CTC of your bonus. बोनस इज अ बिग गेम इन इन्वेस्टमेंट बैंक्स. साल अच्छा गया, बहुत सारी डील्स करी, तो अच्छा बोनस मिलता है. 2 साल पहले रिसेशन था, यूएस में रिसेशन था, डील्स नहीं हो रही थी, इन्वेस्टर विंटर चल रहा था, फंडिंग विंटर चल रहा था, डील्स नहीं हो रही थी, बोनस वॉज समवेयर अराउंड 40%, स्टिल 40%, 40% 50%, बट नॉट नेसेसरी आपको मिलेगा ही मिलेगा. यू हैव टू परफॉर्म. डील्स पे काम नहीं किया, डील्स पे काम किया बट अच्छे तरीके से काम नहीं किया, तो शायद बोनस नहीं भी मिलेगा, इंक्रीमेंट नहीं भी मिलेगा. इट्स अ वेरी
Performance
कॉम्पिटिटिव
based.
जॉब. हाँ, इट्स अ परफॉर्मेंस बेस्ड, इट्स अ कॉम्पिटिटिव जॉब. But that's what the fixed pay I'm talking about, because bonus is very variable, very variable. So yeah, uh, and then AVP, and I'm yet to reach that level, so I cannot comment on that. What AVP directors earn. But yeah, to start with analyst associate, you earn somewhere like
Uh, when we have talked about the money part, you have explained as per your
yeah.
experience. So let's move on. I think we have come to the end of our session. Last
Oh,
few questions which I want to ask you is about the rumors or the myths which I have listened, which I have read about in investment
okay.
banking. So,
Hmm.
what do you think? I would like your opinion on that. The
Okay, sure.
first
Go
one
ahead.
is that investment banking is a cutthroat environment with no teamwork. So what do you think about that?
Absolutely, Mike. Absolutely, Mike. You cannot work without a team. Uh, why I'm saying that? Because it's not necessary. There are thousands of investors in the market. You won't be having connections in all the investors. आपकी टीम में से आपका कोई और बंदे का कनेक्शन होगा किसी और में. प्लस नॉट एवरीवन इज एक्सपर्ट इन एवरी इंडस्ट्री. मैं लेट्स से कंज्यूमर में हेल्थ केयर में एक्सपर्ट हूँ. मेरा टीम वाला SaaS में सब्सक्रिप्शन मॉडल आईटी सर्विसेज में एक्सपर्ट है. आई हैव टू टेक आई हैव टू rely on someone other's network connections, his expertise of industry, research, and everything. It's a teamwork. Plus, when I was in the finance department of Lastaki, what I used to do is I listed you all the negotiations and due diligence process. I used to handle that. The first part of the investment banking is building the collaterals, doing the industry research, finding the right set of investors. The second part of this, when the investor is finalized, whole due diligence process, whole negotiation process, and everything. So I was responsible for that when I was in
Okay.
finance department. So the team was different on the banker side, on the negotiation side. You have to teamwork. You have to do that. Though there is one thing that for one client, not many people are doing job for a client. There will be a senior, there will be a junior, that's it. And then there will be like director level position. So on one deal, not a lot of people are working. If you
Okay.
are talking about from that term, then yes, like people working on other deals, other projects, it's not that's a mix up चल रहा है. आपकी डील है, आप काम कर रहे हो, आपका सीनियर काम कर रहा है, आपका डायरेक्टर काम कर रहा है. दैट्स इट. बट ऑब्वियसली यू कैन आस्क फॉर हेल्प एंड यू कैन डू एनीथिंग. इट्स नॉट टीम वर्क तो चाहिए यार, बिना उसके कोई डील नहीं होगी.
Okay. Another one
या
is that investment bankers are always cutting corners, and this is actually kind of the thing that is shown in movies or series that are based out of investment banking. That there are always people, maybe at the senior level, at the junior level, who are always cutting corners. So what do you think about that?
आई वुड आस्क सम क्लैरिटी ऑन इट. व्हाट यू मीन बाय कटिंग
By
कॉर्नर्स?
cutting corners, I mean finding shortcuts, maybe using some legal, illegal way, something like that.
यार ट्रू एंड फॉल्स बोथ, बिकॉज देर आर फ्यू सब बैंकर्स का अलग तरीका होता है. आई वर्क विद टू डायरेक्टर्स. वन डायरेक्टर वाज वेरी वेरी प्रोसेस ड्रिवन.
Okay.
he or she will work only in that way कि ऐसे काम होना चाहिए. वन डायरेक्टर वाज जुगाड़ू. भाई डील आनी चाहिए, इन्वेस्टर आना चाहिए, पैसा आना चाहिए, कैसे भी आए. Not illegal ways, of course, you cannot do anything illegally. So illegal things is always out of the picture. But
Okay.
मतलब it depends on investor, banker to banker यार. मतलब
What do you
it's very
think is
subjective.
more useful, Jugadu thing or the process driven thing?
Both works because आपको इन्वेस्टर के हिसाब से चलना पड़ेगा यार. इन्वेस्टर अगर प्रोसेस से प्यार करता है तो आपको प्रोसेस करनी पड़ेगी. इन्वेस्टर का मतलब है कि यार ये सब हटाओ, मेरे को पैसा डालना है, तो आपको वैसे करना पड़ेगा. So depends on investor, depends on what is working. There cannot be some standard procedure. uh, कुछ भी चल सकता है.
Okay. Another one is that investment banking is for extroverts who excel in mathematics.
No, so I think both are myth. Maths, of course, few math skills are of course needed because valuation game होता है. uh, किसको एग्जिट देना है, कितना एग्जिट देना है. मैथ्स जरूरी है. आई वोंट से मैथ्स इट्स बट वो टेक्निकल मैथ्स की कोई जरूरत नहीं. वो डिफरेंशिएशन, इंटीग्रेशन, ट्रिग्नोमेट्री, वो सब नहीं चाहिए. आपको बेसिक मैथ्स आनी चाहिए, प्लस
Okay.
माइनस इंटू डिवाइड आना चाहिए, और नंबर्स समझ में आने चाहिए. यार अगर 100% शेयर होल्डिंग है जिसमें किसी की 20% की शेयर होल्डिंग है, उसको ये वैल्यूएशन होगा, पोस्ट मनी कितना है, प्री मनी कितना है, किसको कितना एग्जिट मिलेगा, कौन कितना पैसा लेके जाएगा, ये थोड़ा माइंड में चलना चाहिए. हर चीज आप कैलकुलेटर एक्सेल पे नहीं कर सकते. तो एक बेसिक मैथ्स अंडरस्टैंडिंग होनी चाहिए, बेसिक नंबर्स के साथ खेलना आना चाहिए. आई वोंट से मैथ्स बट प्लेइंग विद द नंबर्स. यू शुड बी गुड विद
Okay.
प्लेइंग विद द नंबर्स. एक्सट्रोवर्ट एब्सोल्युटली नो. या
Okay. So there are some market-based rumors as well. I don't know whether they are rumors or they're actually true. One of them is
शूट अप.
that the boutique firms in India are gaining more traction, more market share when it comes to winning deals as compared to the MNCs. So what do you think about that?
somewhat true, somewhat true, because as I said, MNCs are focusing on US deals, UK deals. When it comes to India-based deals, इंडिया की फर्म्स फोड़ रहे हैं. कोटक है, रेन मैटर है, एम्बिट एविडेंस है, lot of banks, lot of banks. So because what matters is the connection.
Hmm.
इंडिया की बैंक्स, इंडिया की कंपनीज, इंडिया के इन्वेस्टर्स के साथ कनेक्शन बनाएंगे. So yeah, uh, and there are banks like when you are talking about some mid market range like 5 to $50 million, काफी इंडियन बुटीक फर्म्स वो साइज में डील करती है. But there are few banks, Indian banks. I won't say boutique, but there are Indian banks who is doing $100 million deals as well. Yeah,
Okay.
so I will always prefer my career to be Indian banks and boutique banks because सीखने को बहुत कुछ होता है. Boutique banks
Mhm.
gives you a lot of exposure. MNCs में बड़ी में एक hierarchy होती है कि आप फाउंडर से बात नहीं करोगे, आप इन्वेस्टर से बात नहीं करोगे, आपका सीनियर करेगा. Over here, I have given full independence. You can talk to any founder, any investor, go meet people, pick your industry, pick your companies. Lot of exposure है. So वो बुटीक्स में होता है बिकॉज बुटीक में लोग कम होते हैं, तो यहाँ हिरार्की क्या ही बनाएंगे. आप ही हो जो हो, आप बिजनेस डेवलपमेंट के लिए भी रिस्पॉन्सिबल हो, आप डील एग्जीक्यूशन के लिए भी रिस्पॉन्सिबल हो. So you gain a lot of exposure, you gain a lot of learnings. If you really want to learn investment banking, small size banks are really good.
So these were the rumors that I had in my mind, which I
Yeah,
had
okay.
gone through.
Mhm.
So I think we have come to an end. Anything else which you would like to add?
Uh, See, I think to end this session, maybe a few tips which I can share if
Yes,
someone wants to build
sure.
their career in investment banking is first, keep yourself updated with what's going in the world. For that reason, read news. That's a short form content.
Okay.
Have a habit of, it's a very basic thing what I'm saying, but it's very important. Uh, I personally read Economic Times daily. That's a good bunch of every news like macroeconomy, geopolitics, कौन सी डील्स हो रही है मार्केट में, लिस्टेड मार्केट में क्या हो रहा है, प्राइवेट स्पेस में क्या हो रहा है, स्टार्टअप्स में क्या हो रहा है, पॉलिटिक्स में क्या हो रहा है, स्पोर्ट्स में क्या हो रहा है. So that's a good bunch of every news which is covered, which is going on in the world. So read news. That's very important. Second, read newsletters.
Okay.
I can suggest few names. There is VC Circle. There is Ken, KEN. There is
Okay.
Morning Context. There is FinShots. There are a couple of these newsletters. You should start make a habit of reading regularly. Explain topic really well in long form. FinShots is a smaller one. Ken is very large. But start reading newsletters that gives information. Read business case studies and mergers and acquisitions of fundraise case studies. We discussed this before as well. कौन सा बिजनेस क्या करता है, कैसे इवॉल्व हुआ है, कब उसने पैसा उठाया है, किस स्केल पे पैसा उठाया, किससे पैसा उठाया, किस वैल्यूएशन पे पैसा उठाया, and reading the whole journey of the business. So type in business case studies, any industry which you like, that will help. Yeah, then if you are a commerce graduate like me, understanding tech companies are quite difficult. Like I used
Yes.
to struggle in that. आजकल सारी companies tech हो गई है. AI, ChatGPT and everything. You know what they are, you know what AI is, but you don't know how they are built. कौन से टेक स्टैक पे वो लोग बने हैं, how they are different from their competitors. Competitors ने एक अलग क्लाउड पे एक अलग तरीके से वो प्रोडक्ट बनाया है,
Mm.
इसने अलग तरीके से बनाया है. वो नहीं समझता है बिकॉज हम कॉमर्स वाले हैं. फॉर दैट स्टार्ट रीडिंग in detail about tech products. How you can do it is there is a website, there is a portal platform called as Technically.
Okay.
Technically, वो बहुत अच्छे से explain करता है from very basic. What is API? How API is built? How you integrate APIs, for example, and a lot of other technical knowledge.
Okay.
Read that. And since we are talking to a lot of CA people as well, our audience is a lot of CA people. What I can say is knowledge per se you have. I recommended you few things. Start building interpersonal skills as well. Start participating in events. Be a part
Okay.
of committees. Be a part of sponsorship committees because sponsorship में पैसा लाना है और वही investment bank में करना होता है. So ये छोटी छोटी आदत बहुत improve करेगी. Find some networking clubs. Rotaract है, Leo clubs है, some youth clubs in your city, online clubs. Start meeting to people. Go to business events. Go to business. Focus more on talking to people rather than एक स्पीकर में ऑडियंस बन के स्पीकर सेशन से ज्यादा कोशिश करो लोगों से बात करने की. दैट्स व्हाट यू कैन डू. And few things which I want to clear about investment banking is I think the two things which is coming in my mind is first, investment banking is an art. It's not a science. You go in any of our domain, like यू गो इनटू टैक्सेस, रिटर्न होता है, नोटिस आता है, उसका ऐसे रिप्लाई बनता है, ये
Yes.
सेक्शन है, ये एक्ट है, इसको पढ़ के रिप्लाई ड्राफ्ट करना होता है। ऑडिट है तो ये प्रोसेस है, ये वाली चीजें चेक कर लो तो ऑडिट हो जाएगा। ऑडिट स्टैंडर्ड्स हैं, सब कुछ। आई एम नॉट सेइंग कि वहां पर आर्ट या स्किल नहीं लगती, ऑफ कोर्स लगती है, बट स्टिल एक बेस है, एक एक्ट है, एक स्टैंडर्ड्स हैं, देयर इज अ प्रोसेस on which you can rely, and then maybe you can use your own mind.
Yes.
Investment banking is completely good. There is no standard. There is no SOPs. Every deal is different. You have to really understand what's going on. हर इन्वेस्टर डेक अपने आप में अलग बनता है, हर फाइनेंशियल मॉडल अलग बनता है, हर कंपनी के लिए एक अलग इन्वेस्टर होते हैं, अलग तरीके से पोजीशनिंग करनी पड़ती है। दैट्स व्हाट आई वाज सेइंग, किसी डील में जुगाड़ काम आती है, किसी डील में प्रोसेस काम आती है। इन्वेस्टर को पढ़ना पड़ता है, नेगोशिएशंस देखने पड़ते हैं, इन्वेस्टर को फाउंडर को देखना पड़ता है। सो इट्स एन आर्ट, इट्स अ स्किल बेस्ड जॉब। Knowledge of course needed, whole finance thing हमने वो भी डिस्कस किया, how you can gain that
Yes.
through some courses of financial modeling, business model canvas, or read curriculum of CFA. That's really good. If you want to pursue CFA, go ahead, do it. But always be ready for a hectic life if you want to opt for investment banking.
Yes.
True that investment banking is hell lot hectic uh, job to do. It demands a lot of time, but it's fun. So yeah, welcome to the world of workaholic, but alcohol is always fun. So fun work.
Good one. And actually, it becomes a fun part when it's your passion, when you have an
Yeah,
interest. If you're doing it without
absolutely.
interest and
No, no,
you
no.
do anything, it
Money
won't be
shouldn't
fun.
be your goal if you are in investment
Mm,
banking. You will earn a lot, but you will give up because
yes.
काम बहुत करना पड़ता है। मजा नहीं आएगा काम करने में तो आपको लगेगा वो आप सन्यासी वाली बातें करोगे, पैसा हाथ का मेल है और वो सब। मजा आएगा काम करने में तो वो पैसा अच्छा भी लगेगा। या
Okay. Thanks a lot, Vinamra, for joining
या
today. This was a
थैंक्स
very
प्रशांत, थैंक
informative
यू सो
section
मच।
for me as well. So,
Absolutely.
thanks a lot.
Thank you. Thanks, Prashant.
Yes.
Your questions were really good. Enjoyed answering them. Let's hope to connect sometime soon as well.
Yes. Sure thing. Yeah.
Great. Great.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye, man.